This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. This is episode number 145. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, Jared Schultz. Jared, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Lloyd?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, I guess. I'm fighting a stomach bug. Had a bit of a stomach flu the last couple days, so that's not fun. But I'm doing better, and I'm okay. Okay is what I'll say.
Good. I mean, I guess it's good that you're okay and not like terrible.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. That I'm not actually. I don't have a bucket beside me while doing the show. That would be horrible.
Yeah, then you wouldn't do the show. So you're good enough to do a show. Suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Let's get into the show. Just as we said at the start, we are thankful to P&P Games for supporting the podcast network. So go check them out for everything video games. Whether you're looking for new titles or used titles, check them out. pnpgames.com. You can buy games that you can't find anymore in stores because they carry a lot of retro stuff as well, all the way back to the Atari 2600 and everything from here on up. So do check it out, pnpgames.com. Just to follow up on the YouTube stuff that we chatted about last week, please go and subscribe. Still missing a couple people, a few more, and we should be able to start doing some YouTube live streaming and checking that out. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, which is youtube.com/VGPod is the URL for that. So please subscribe, and then we can hopefully have a new streaming solution here for the network, which might be a little more sane than what we're currently using. So check it out, youtube.com/VGPod.
So I don't want to curse it, but I just went and looked it up. You only need one more subscriber.
Oh, wow. Now people have unsubscribed. Everybody. Even though I say that I want to get to 100, I'd love to actually get to 120 so that if on a day everybody unsubscribes, it doesn't prevent me from doing a show one week.
Good point. But I'm just saying, you're really close.
No, I got it. We'll definitely be close enough to play around with it for a little bit, which will be nice. Awesome, man. Well, let's get into the show. Jared, what have you been playing lately?
Well, first of all, I've been playing the worst game that I've ever played.
Nice.
I know, but I'm just going to get it out of the way before I go ahead and talk about other good stuff. This game is called Berserk Evolution.
Is it related to the original Berserk from the arcades?
I have no idea what the original Berserk is. I apologize.
Oh my God, you're so young. Never mind. I keep forgetting. Never mind.
Hey, I know what an arcade is. I've been to one. Aladdin's Castle. That's the one I went to.
All right, there you go. Okay, no, it looks like a card game. No, this is not related to Berserk in any stretch of the imagination. Never mind.
All right, so the game looks really cool. I got all excited about it because there's like all these like different cards to collect, and I kind of like myself a good card collector. I've been playing some card collecting games online, and so I've been thinking about that type of thing on the iOS. And there's like an overworld map that you have a flying island. Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I get into it, I start playing it, and it tells me to take a squad in, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll take this squad in. And then I get done with, or I keep taking that squad in, and like I'm in the tutorial, and it starts like playing my turn for me, and I'm like, are you serious? I thought it was just part of the tutorial, where it's like drawing cards, and then the cards would take so long to summon. When they summon, they just kind of put them out in order. No, that's the entire game. Like the entire game is made for you to build your card decks, and then it automatically plays against different bad guys with your card decks. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So there is nothing that you're actually doing in the game. And so you start like a battle, and I'm not kidding. You know, the battles go, say, even like 90 seconds, and I'm like asleep. So and then like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I still have my iPod in my hand. Oh well, I guess I'll go start another battle. It's terrible. Like, even if you get paid for this, you should not be playing this game. Or actually, playing this game is probably not the right verb.
I was going to say watching this game. It is a really bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of fun if you really want to like build your squad and then fall asleep for 90 seconds. I mean, I don't know. Terrible, terrible, terrible game. Then the second game is a little game that came out last night.
You probably never heard of it.
Yeah, no, probably not. Plants vs. Zombies 2. It came out. It's probably my wife's all-time favorite game. I think she's played the first one like 4 times through.
Oh, wow.
And I told her Plants vs. Zombies was coming out yesterday before it came out because, you know, I was reading some of the news feeds and she just got so excited. And I came home last night after doing some stuff and found my wife playing Plants vs. Zombies.
Nice.
And she has been playing it a whole lot.
Nice.
Lots and lots of Plants vs. Zombies. So yeah, I'm also playing it, Plants vs. Zombies 2. I am nowhere near as far through as her. It's kind of interesting because they did freemium on it.
Yeah. Let's chat about that for a little bit because I've been playing it as well.
I'm torn. I'm of 2 completely different minds on the freemium in this game.
Okay, well let me tell you a little bit how I think then.
All right.
I expected way worse than what it is, because at the free to play that's in this game, there's only one thing that you can't earn yourself. Everything else is all fast forwards. Is all it is. So all of the unlocks for extra slots and speed ups and the different plants, you can all earn them by playing the game and getting keys and unlocking doors and going getting them yourself. So it, like, I might spend $5 here to do this and that, and that would be all I'd ever spend just to speed it up. Or I would just decide to not ever do that, and I would earn all that stuff myself. I think there's like a water lily or something that you basically can only plant it once per round, and it gives you a plant food, and that's all it does. And that one you can't actually get unless you buy it for $5 or something. So I assumed that the free to play would be you'd only have X number of energy, you'd have to pay to continue, that there'd be like every plant you'd have to buy, you'd have to use in-game gold to do it or something. But it turns out that the game is fully completable for spending $0, which is not what I thought would
so you
happen.
can get all those other plants.
Yep.
For really, I didn't know that. So if you go deep enough into the game, then you can get those other plants unlocked.
Yeah, I think every single. Don't quote me. I'm only going by what I read online because I haven't gotten through the whole game. But from what I understand, there's only one plant that you can't earn yourself by earning enough keys, grinding enough to get the keys to unlock the doors. So it's just kind of speed ups. So the one thing that I might buy is the extra slot for a seed slot. It's like $3.99, where I feel really bad about it. But then I thought, I bought this game on like 4 different systems, like Plants vs. Zombies 1 on like 4 different systems for like $25 and $15 and $10 and $5. Dropping $4 probably wouldn't be a bad thing to speed that up for the initial the initial part of the game. But you earn it, I think, in the second world. You can earn that extra slot yourself, and it's the same with all the other plants as well. From what I understand, I haven't gotten there, but just from reading what people have been writing online.
Yeah, and it looks like if you do want to play them all, you do have to play multiple times through the same level, because you have to play it once just to unlock the new level, and then star challenges will come up. And my wife is telling me that some of the star challenges are very difficult.
Oh yeah, they're really tough. Yeah, so like on the first world, the Egyptian world, you need 15 stars to then move to the next world. And by the time you get to the end of that level, which unlocks all the star challenges, you should have, I think, 5 stars. So you only need to find 10 other stars, and you do that by grinding keys and going through those. There's a place to get stars, which is it's a challenge. What is it? A challenge pyramid, I think is what they call it, where there's 15 increasingly more difficult levels, but you just have to do 10 levels somewhere in that world, and then you'll unlock the next world. But of course, if you're a completionist, you'll want to go back and get three stars on the worlds that have 3 stars, or 2 stars on the worlds that have 2 stars, or 1 on each of the worlds that only has 1 star. So there's a lot of content, but you don't need to play it all if you don't want to, and you don't need to spend anything to get any of it, which is a beauty thing, which is the exact opposite of what I thought EA would do. I thought they would be making you pay 25 cents every time you play the game. They would be that evil, but it doesn't seem to be the case, which is really cool.
So on the bad side, if you do want to unlock anything for pay, prices are high. I mean, there's you can get gold, but with gold you can't really do much except for buy little boosts, which, you know, I'm used to like hoarding my gold so I can buy all the upgrades, and it seems like in this game that's kind of worthless.
Yeah. The even worse is the math that they use for when you buy gold is flawed. So they say the best value one is a penny more expensive than buying 2 of the one right below it. So it's not actually the best value. So I think this is early on, and they'll probably be playing with prices, and they put some things on sale because you get the ad pop up every once in a while. It's like, buy your hot chili pepper now on sale, 30% off. It's like, well, no, thanks for offering. I don't really want to buy that. I'll just unlock it for free in the next world or whenever it comes up.
But yeah, the prices are a little high. I mean, most of the unlocks are $3-5.
Yep.
But you know, I can't fault them for that, considering they're giving away a lot of content for free. And like you said, it is a lot of content, and I really thought EA would do worse. I mean, they did all the craziness with Rio Racing, even though that's been scaled back now.
Totally.
But still, it's good to see, and you know, if this is what freemium is, I'm not that opposed to it, because it allows more people to play. And gives a lower barrier to entry for gaming for good games. So as long as it's a good game and it's well implemented, I can't complain too bad.
Yeah, totally. They've actually fixed the gold thing, and they've actually added a whole bunch more gold packages all the way up to $100. If you want 450,000 gold pieces, you could buy it for $100 because you're crazy. That's really insane. The one neat thing that this game does is it actually does over-the-air patching, like an MMO or one of their other games like Simpsons Tapped Out. So when you first start this game, it doesn't look that great if you have a Retina iPad. And apparently things like in-app purchases, it only had 3 bundles of gold that I could buy. Now there's like 8. So they're adding in all sorts of stuff. But yeah, when I first started playing the game, it started downloading, played through the first 3-4 levels, and then I got a pop-up saying, oh, a new version of the game is downloaded. Click here to restart. Hit restart. It booted up. Next thing you know, all of the graphics are Retina. The game looks beautiful. It sounds better. It looks better. So yeah, I mean, I like this. The one thing that I'm not convinced of is if I want to play this game both on my iPad and my iPhone, it doesn't appear that my unlocks sync anywhere, from what I understand, from what I've been reading. So if I say buy the jalapeno for $3 because I'm crazy and I want to rush to get the jalapeno, if I unlock it on my iPad, it won't show as unlocked on my iPhone, I believe. Again, not something I've tested. If I ever buy something, I'll report back what happens, but they don't make it apparent. And I know other EA things they have. Oh no, there it is. I see a restore purchases thing now. If you go into the settings, you can actually do restore purchases. So maybe that's not the case. So,
they actually were listening while you were talking and patching that in.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they just patched it while we were talking right there. EA does listen to this podcast. I don't know if they actually do. I can't back that up with anything factual. But yeah, I mean, I expected to hate this when I heard that it was freemium. I think we might have bitched about it on the show actually. And then when the game was announced that it was being delayed for a month or two, I was like, finally, they saw the light. They're not going to release it as freemium garbage. It's going to come out as a full game. But yeah, this is not a bad implementation of freemium. If you don't mind grinding a little bit, you can unlock anything in the game, everything in the game pretty much, except for, like I said, from what I understand, the water lily. I'm just got to make sure that's what it actually is. It's called a power lily. And it's, something you can use once per level, it looks like. But yeah, it looks like everything else is possibly unlockable. So yeah, I don't know. I really dig it. I was a big fan of Plants vs. Zombies in every iteration of it. I played it on my PC. I played it on the PlayStation 3, on the Vita, on my iPhone, on my iPad. I've played it in lots of different places, and it's always fun. I usually don't get much past the place where you're on the roof. I don't even know if I've actually completed the full game on any of those platforms. So I'm not a diehard addict. But for giving me something new at a awesome price, I don't really have much to complain about for this one. So do check it out. Plants vs. Zombies 2. It's free, so there's no reason not to. And just know that don't go spending like $50 right off the hop unlocking everything, because you don't really need to. If you have a little bit of patience, you can get it for free, or just buy a couple things if you really want to give EA your money, and then it'll allow you to get to the other parts of the world a little bit quicker and easier, which is always a good thing. So check it out, Plants vs. Zombies 2.
Definitely.
All right, man. What else? Anything else you've been playing?
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. I thought we forgot what we were doing. I've been playing this little game called Everlands. So this game it's a kind of a puzzle game, but there's also there's a big strategy element to it. So basically, you are trying to free the wildlands from this evil black purple goop stuff, and the way that you do that is you're going through all these various scenarios, and you're slowly freeing up different people or different animals, and each animal they have two statistics, and that's it. They have attack and they have life, and each of those statistics, whenever they're placed down, if there is someone on, a bad infested guy on the square in the direction that they have an arrow, then you go ahead and attack them. If not, then that you just sit down next to them. And the key is that you want to, at the end of the round, have more turned over on your color than the bad guys do on their color. So I don't think I explained that the best, but essentially you keep getting different types of guys that have different powers, different strengths and weaknesses, and so you're always trying to figure out how to use their special powers in order to turn over the enemy's tiles and then defend the guys that you have out so that they don't get taken over. So maybe you'll put a lot of power on a spot that you think that they're going to want to move into, so that when they place a piece there, you automatically attack it before they can potentially knock out one of your guys. So, for example, when you play the bee, you can play two bees, and that's his power. Or the bear, when the bear gets hurt, his attack power goes up one. So usually he's attack power 2, but if the bear gets hurt, then the attack power is 3. And then there's like the platypus, and when the platypus goes out, you can lay an egg somewhere else on the field, and the egg doesn't have a lot of life, but it is your color, so you can do different things with that.
Right.
It's kind of a cool game. It's a little bit older, I believe, but in terms of a kind of simple but deep strategy game, it's really, really good. And I think I got it for a good price. I think that I had been watching it for a while and it dropped in price or something like that. Picked it up, and I'm really glad I did. Like I said, it's a little older. I'm not sure if I'll actually review this or anything, but sure. It's worth a look if you're into those kind of strategy games, and that's Everlands. It looks like it's also available for Android. So Yeah, that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing, Lloyd?
I've been playing a fair bit. Plants vs Zombies 2. I played a lot of that last night. And had a lot of fun with it, so that was good. I played through Nightmare Tower, almost completely finished that game. Really fun title. I was going to review it this week, but I think I'll wait. I think I might have a guest review for that one. Someone wants to come on the show and do a review of it because she really, really loved it. So maybe we'll do that at some point. But Nightmare Tower, you're a knight and you have to save a bunch of princesses that have been holed up in a tower. And you do this by launching yourself up on a rocket and basically stabbing things to propel yourself higher. And once you get past 100 feet, you get a princess, or 1,000 feet, you get a princess. Then 2,000, you get another one, all the way up to unlocking the last princess. Eventually, once you do enough in the game, you'll get a key, which then allows you to open the boss level and fight the boss. And it's just this really like hectic, lots of stuff happening on the screen. Really fun game. I found out about this game actually on my Ouya. It was one of the really exciting launch titles on the Ouya, which was great. I downloaded it, played it a few times. It was really good, and then I heard it was coming on iOS. Immediately downloaded it and have been playing a lot of it. So, if you're looking for something a little bit different, you might want to look into that one. I think it's $3 on the App Store. Playing some other things, nothing super fancy, nothing that I'm actually ready to do a review anytime soon, but I've been playing a lot of little things. Trying to find the name of one of the games I've been checking out. It's called Dot, DOT, and it's this. It's a shooter. What is it called? Dot Space Hero is what it's called, and it's a shooter, side-scrolling shooter, kind of like an old retro one, but it has this painted background. So it's like this retro space shooter. But you're a guy in a jetpack and you fly up and down to collect things, and really interesting little game. It seems really short. I think I'm halfway through the game and I've only played it once. So I'm going to try to finish that one over the next little bit and maybe do a review after that and let you guys know what it is. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of little things, but Plants vs. Zombies I think is going to dominate a lot of my free time over the next little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
And my wife will probably have it beaten by next week.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some people that have already done that and haven't paid money. They've just been grinding. So it chews up the battery pretty damn good too. So
I did notice that. I played it for about an hour, and yeah,
be near a charger. For sure. All right, let's get into the show. Notable releases this week. I just want to talk about something kind of interesting. Disney Infinity is coming out on Sunday, which is kind of like a Skylanders sort of game, but with Disney properties, coming out on Wii, PlayStation 3, 360, Wii U, 3DS. It's all over. Well, they're actually releasing a bunch of iOS apps as well. The first one hit, and it's called Disney Infinity Action, which is just a free app. And basically it's, do you remember those camera apps that were all the rage for a while, where you could make it look like something's exploding and it would shoot this missile and it would blow up in the scene and make a little video for you?
Yep.
That's exactly what this game is like, except it's with it's with people from Disney. So you can basically record a little video, so it'll overlay like here's a scare, and then you can actually just react in the video and then save the video. I only got it because the kids are so giddy about Disney Infinity. Like, they're vibrating. They're so excited. Counting down the days to Sunday, actually, which is ridiculous. But I downloaded this one, and you can do things where you make the little characters do little things just by touching them, making them do actions. You can have them do little animations with different objects. So there's this one where you can basically bring up a Polaroid camera into the scene, and it actually takes a photo from the front camera on your device and then displays it in the game. Not very exciting for me, but my kids had so much fun just doing that over and over and over again. I don't understand it, but maybe I'm not the target demographic for this. So it's free. Check it out. But they are coming out with a better game, which actually is going to be a toy mode our toy box mode level editor. So one of the big features in this game that's coming out is you can basically play the single player game and have fun, but you can go into this like Minecraft like toy box mode where you can build whatever you want, really, with all the different pieces, set pieces, and basic blocks. They're going to be coming out with an iOS app that can allow you to take the levels that you're working on and edit them while you go on your iPad, submit them, download ones that have been submitted, and kind of mess around that way. So I'm hoping that one will be out sometime before Sunday, so I can work on some levels for the kids, so they can check it out when we get the game and stuff. But it's nice to see a big company like Disney kind of really not really looking at the cheap movie cash-in games so much anymore, but kind of looking at another way to cheaply cash in on games, I guess. But trying to build this one experience where everything will just plug into it. Like the whole philosophy with Disney Infinity is, when a new movie comes out, they can make an adventure playset for that movie. And you basically buy this box that has a couple figures and this little statue for $35, which then gives you 6 to 8 hours of gameplay. And it just plugs right into your normal game. So the game is like $75, so it's not cheap. And there's a couple toy sets that are coming out as well. But I kind of like that. And I know my kids love Disney, so I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time playing this stuff. So if I have an iOS app that allows me to do fun things while they are doing crazy things, that'll probably be a good thing. I'll probably get a lot of use out of it. So anyway, Disney Infinity Action's out now, but the better one, the Toy Box Mode app, will be out soon. And once it's out, I'll let you guys know what I think of it.
Sounds good.
All right, man, let's get into the news. Remember how we mentioned how the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition was pulled off the App Store?
I do remember, and it was in my wish list, and I was waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was like December when that happened. Well, it turns out the iPad version is back up on the App Store. So if you go to the App Store and you do a search for Baldur's Gate, you can actually find the Enhanced Edition. It's available for download, $9.99 like it used to be. It still has all of the in-app purchases and all the other things that it had before. So I guess whatever beef they had with, I think it was Atari, I want to say. I could be wrong with that. But it looks like whatever kind of beef they had, they've gotten it sorted out. Probably involved a lot of money changing hands from one person to another. But if you're waiting for Baldur's Gate, like you were, Jared, you can now pick it up. That must make you pretty happy, except for the fact that it's $10.
Yep. So I'll probably put it back on my watch list and see when it goes on sale still.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next up, this one I saw the post on Touch Arcade, and I just
bizarre.
I shook my head on how stupid it was. Well, there's a new WWE wrestling game, or a new game from WWE Wrestling. So you'd think it would be a fight game. They did an Angry Birds clone a while ago, but it had the wrestlers in it, so that kind of made sense. Well, they just came out with a game called John Cena's Fastlane. And it revolves around John Cena, the wrestler, and it's a racing game. It's kind of like that. What's the name of that drag racing app that everybody checks out? It's like GTR Racing or something. I want to say that, but it's probably wrong. It looks exactly like that. So it's you basically having a drag race with another car, and all you can do is shift. So it's not even a full racing game. It's like the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. So I don't know. Weird. It was kind of one of those interesting things that I wanted to talk about on the show, more so for how crazy kind of the App Store has gotten. It reminds me of way back in like the PlayStation 1 era. There was this like monster truck racing game that had WWE superstars on it, and it was kind of like a car battle game, like Twisted Metal, but it was with like big bobble-headed WWE wrestlers, and it's just like, what? And now that stuff is appearing on iOS. So I guess we can stay tuned for even more bizarre stuff hitting the App Store in the near future.
Yeah, I looked at this and kind of shook my head and wondered, how did this even come up? Like, do you think there was like the WWE programmers or the promotional people, and they're like, what could we do with our WWE license? I know, let's make a racing game and find somebody that'll do that for us.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like they bought like a template from the GTR racing people and said, "Can we buy your game and replace all the graphics?" And
just skin it. Yeah,
it's just
sounds good.
it's really bizarre. I don't get it, but anyway, it was funny enough to make me kind of shake my head and want to talk about it on the show.
It was worth it.
All right, last but not least, this one's definitely not least. Remember the franchise Worms, where you're basically shooting weapons from one worm to another and trying to blow up the other team?
Yeah, with like crazy, insane weapons.
Yeah, and animations. It's like there's a whole bunch of games like Scorched Earth and stuff way back in the day on the DOS era PCs. Worms was kind of like the console version of that kind of made it. Well, there's a new version of Worms out. Worms 3 has just launched. And not only is it out, it's only out on iOS. Makes me kind of wonder why that happened. Not that I'm disappointed. It's just kind of odd. So yeah, the latest version of Worms is available. You can download it on the App Store right now. If you go and, if you actually click on there and if you do search for Worms 3, it'll come up with a page where you can buy it for $5 and get the latest version of Worms. I guess these aren't selling on other consoles. Maybe that's the reason. But for me, just to see like the next version of a long running franchise only coming out on iOS just kind of makes me wonder, or kind of makes me think it's like, holy crap, iOS is kind of here as a platform. People are actually spending time developing stuff just for that, which you knew they were doing. But this is like proof by a company that's made lots of versions of this game, and the only version that they're making of this one is on iOS. So kind of neat. Not a huge fan of the franchise, unfortunately, so I'm not going to buy it. But it's neat that it's there, Jared.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, like you said, that it's exclusive. And I don't know, I haven't seen any reviews out for it. Has it been doing okay, or?
I've seen just the reviews that they posted in their in their App Store description. So a couple sites like 148 Apps reviewed it 4 out of 5. People are saying that it's pretty decent.
So I guess if you like Worms, then you need to go get yourself an iPhone.
Yeah, got Worms because the iOS does. And it's pretty small, too. It's like under 100 megs, so it's even going to be a quick download and stuff. Yeah, I might have to check this one out. I might have to check it out. It might be fun. I wonder if there's multiplayer. Anyway, Worms 3 available only on iOS. All right, sir.
All right.
What do you say we get into the rest of the show, into our review section, and why don't you tell us about a game called Lums?
I have to tell you about Lums.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay, fine.
Well, you don't have to, but you put it in the show notes, so I assumed that would be what you would be doing, but I could be wrong there.
No, that's a pretty good guess. So there's this game. Okay, I'm going to try and describe some of these mechanics to you. Let's see what you think of the game. So essentially, there are vampires that don't like light because they're vampires and they're not the sparkly vampires. And sorry for that little jab. And then they don't like light, and so the idea of Lums is that you're launching these Lums at these vampires to figure out how you could get light on them. There are different types of blocks that they're standing on, and they have little bases that are built out of things like wood and stone and glass. And they're little round guys. There are various different types of Lums, and each of them have different powers. Is this sounding at all like a game that you know?
It sounds kind of like Angry Birds with light.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And it's way better.
Okay.
So, Lums, I like Angry Birds just fine. But Lums, it's kind of cool because there's no like launching mechanic, which for me was sometimes a little bit of a fiddly bit on the Angry Birds, because if you didn't get it quite where you wanted, you just pause it and restart the level really quick. Do it a ton. But with Lums, you touch the button and then you actually kind of like control them while in the air. They can go any direction you want. and then you can like launch them. You get kind of like positioned what angle you want, and then you swipe your finger in that space, and it goes perfect, and it hits exactly where you want it to, which is kind of a nice change. And it's the same thing. The Lums have very different powers. So you have the Cannonball Lum. You get an anti-gravity Lum, which is really cool because any blocks that it touches then float upwards. You get one that turns all the blocks into glass, which is nice because you can get there's like lasers going, and if lasers hit the glass, they go through the glass. Then you have one that's stone, and stone's nice because it's heavy, and so it can trigger things. And your Lum, whatever blocks it hits, will turn to stone. And then you have one that's really cool that is like a portable light source. So if in the level you need a light source in a different spot in order to shine on all these little vampires that kind of look a little bit like the piggies, yeah, you can just throw that up there and make it hit a wall, and then it'll shine light in a direct line. There's not a ton of levels yet. There's 48 levels currently. There's 3 worlds with 16. It does kind of that similar style that you have to have so many stars. The way you earn stars in this is you just kind of pick them up in the level. So it's not like a scoring mechanism. You just kind of get them. And then like I said, there's 3 worlds with 16 levels each. You can't play the next level in that world until you beat the previous level, but you can potentially unlock one of the other worlds. So you could be playing through one world. I actually got stuck for quite a while on one of the levels in the 3rd world. They do get pretty difficult on trying to figure out exactly how to get everything to work based on what you have. So it becomes a bit more of a puzzle game, but it still has that physics-based thing going on. So I highly recommend Lums. It's one game that I was looking at the App Store. It's not getting near enough love. And one bad thing they did is they did not make a universal app. There's Lums and there's Lums HD. But it's going to get a 5 out of 5 from me. And I really enjoyed my time with Lums. I'm going to stick it in one of my folders and hope that they update it with more levels because I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I just, it was innovative. It kind of took that Angry Birds formula, and they did some really interesting things that I think made it a lot of fun. So it's a good one. Lums, I don't remember the developer, but 99 cents on the App Store. It's definitely worth checking out.
Cool. I didn't actually think that you'd be giving it 5 out of 5. That's awesome. I might have to check it out, actually. It sounds interesting anyway.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of one of those ones that I didn't expect, and it came through big.
Cool. I will add it to my queue right now. But I just had to type in my password. So I have bought it. I will play it after we do this show and let you know what I think of it. All right, cool. Let's get into the rest of the show for my review. I'm going to review a game that I've been playing called Chillaxian. It's $1.99 on the App Store. And it is essentially a love letter to the 1980s space shooter. So things like Galaxian or any of the other ones that came out around those times. There was a bunch of them. Galaxian being probably one of the biggest ones. And it's by Mad Garden, and it's essentially it's you are a ship on the bottom of the screen. There are waves of enemies at the top. You shoot them all. You go to the next level. Another wave of enemies come out, and you keep going and until you've basically gone as far as you can, and you lose all your lives, and then you get a score, and you put your name on the high score list. And that's essentially what the game is. So it sounds really simple, and it is. But they've done some really interesting things. So controls are really simple. So you control the game by touching the left-hand side of the screen to move left and the right-hand side of the screen to move right. The game auto-shoots, but it's really intelligent with the way that it auto-shoots. So instead of just always shooting, so if you don't even have any enemies near you, basically screwing up the timing of your shots, it will only start shooting when the I guess the English that you put on the shot. So if you're moving one way, your shot will kind of curve around that way a little bit. So it'll only shoot when the English would take it to the vicinity of one of the enemy ships that are out there. So you can be really good about your shots, moving out of the way, moving back, stuff like that, and dodging all the bullets that are coming in. And then the game is just a high score fest. You're trying to get as far as you possibly can. After every certain number of levels, there's a bonus level where you have to shoot or avoid meteors or asteroids. And then if you pick up another ship that's in there, you'll get a wingman for a small period of time until he gets hit and then dies. And then you can have a couple wingmen on your ship and do that, which is good. And that's pretty much it. Once you've died, you can change the wave that you start at. So from 1, 21, 31, 41, 51, all the way up. There's leaderboards, of course, so you can see where you rank on the leaderboards for people that have played. And that's it. Where the game gets really cool is you could basically change the game to be more like old arcades or less like old arcades. So there's a couple things. There's the Chillaxian beats. So if you've played old like games like Space Invaders, there was that like thumping like rum, rum, rum as you go through the game. So you can add that in, or if you get annoyed by it, you can take it off. They also have something called the 1979 mode. And what it does is it puts scan lines over all the graphics, and it has like a little bit of like video roll that's happening on the game. So it looks like you're playing on an old ancient CRT that's in an arcade that's been going forever. I kind of like playing with those modes on because I love retro stuff. And yeah, this game has been like, it's simple, but it's been enough. There's one type of shot. There's people that you can basically get as wingmen, and then they die, and then you continue. And it's all about avoiding crazy bullets as long as you can. The enemies themselves are actually kind of cool. So unlike like games like Chillaxian or Space Invaders, where there's a set pattern, all the ships on the screen are kind of pulsing in and out in formation, and they kind of move around themselves. It's almost like they're organic. So they're always pulsing in and out. So it's not like you can time all the shots and know exactly what's happening. You have to kind of figure out how things are basically pulsing in and out. There's a lot of stuff happening in the chat room. I'm trying to not pay attention. Jared, you're making me screw up by reading your stuff, so I will stop reading. So that's kind of neat. The graphics themselves, they're super retro. Like you can see, like if I'm holding it up to the camera, obviously if you're listening on a podcast, they're like bright and shiny and very pulsy and neon-y. I mean, it looks like something that would be at home in the arcades in the 1980s. So yeah, Chillaxian. It's a fun game. It is what it is. If you like old school shooters, you're gonna love this game. If you don't, not the game for you. I happen to like old retro stuff, as Jared is quick to point out and make fun of me on. So I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It basically, like I said, it's like a love letter to the 1980s, and brings me back to playing games in arcades. Not that I was playing these types of games back then, but I've played them after when I was a little bit older and allowed in arcades. So, so yeah, I love the game. 4 out of 5, clearly not retro enough. Yeah, I guess so. It loses a point because you're basically playing the same game over and over and over again. It's just a high score. There's nothing new and fancy about it, but it is what it is, and I quite dig it. So, Chillaxian, $1.99 on the App Store, 4 out of 5. All right, Jared. Cool. Any more digs or jokes while I'm doing some more talking? Anything like that? Got anything else to say, man?
You just got to learn to ignore the chat room while you're talking.
But I like to involve everybody. But yeah, I guess when I'm talking, I gotta ignore the chat room because you're trying to screw me up.
Yeah, and I've just been screwed up way too many times that I'm sorry if I'm talking. I am not reading the chat room anymore because I'll wait until you're talking and go catch up because yeah, sometimes they're just too funny.
Exactly. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in and staying subscribed to the show. We love to hear from you. Basically, head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think. Email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the shows there. Check out any of the stuff that's on that site as well. Let us know what you think there. Something that we want to do more of. So let us know the type of stuff you want to see from the VG Podcast Network. All right, Jared, thanks again for joining me and screwing me up while I talk.
Anytime, Lloyd, anytime.
All right, guys, you take it easy. We'll talk to you in about a week's time or so. Yeah, have fun. Take it easy. Bye-bye.